Hey everyone, today gonna walk through a gallery example built with the Underdog API and Sphere checkout. So here we're at the checkout page to buy a piece of art for 1 Sol. Just connect your wallet and approve the transaction to process the payment. And in the background, we'll hit a webhook that mints the compressed NFT directly to the purchaser's wallet. And to verify that the purchase went through, let's go to the Underdog dashboard and on our project page for Tardigrade Sunrise, we can find the wallet address of the transaction that was sent. And we find the compressed NFT there, and then we can verify the compressed NFT was also sent on X-Ray as well. So we see that the wallet address matches up there. So now let's time travel back a couple hours when I first started the project, and we're going to start at the Underdog dashboard again and create the project Tardigrade Sunrise, drop the art, and in this case we're going to use one of our cool new features, semi-fungible projects, so all the art and descriptions all match up, and drop the underdogprotocol.com URL as the external URL on the JSON metadata as well. So hit create project. Let's wait for the project to process on chain. And here we go. Just to test this out, I'm going to mint this to my own wallet. So we'll create an NFT, let that compressed NFT transaction process as well. And looks like it's all ready to go. And again, I'll go through that verification process on X-Ray. I can see the creators, the Merkle tree that it's a part of, which we handle all in the background, so I don't have to think about it. And I think we're ready to go. Now I'm going to move over to Sphere and create a product on Sphere. I'll try to match this up with the name on Underdog as well, just to make it a lot easier to keep track of. I'll set it to 1 Sol, even though my art is not that good. Drop the image again and create the product. So we'll give this a quick load, and it looks like we're ready to go here. And you might be asking, where is the code? 2 minutes into the video. Well, here it is. So we're going to start by cloning the Next.js starter. I've actually done all the work for you and posted the new gallery template, but we'll start at starter just to show how we built this from the ground up. So let's go ahead and open up the code. And as we wait for that, I'm going to grab my Underdog API key. So from the dashboard, just head over to API keys, generate a new API key, and this will give you access to Underdog to create new NFTs. So we'll paste that in. I already have a spot set up just to paste the API key within the env.local. So let's rename this first to .env.local so we don't leak the keys. And let's paste in the API key. All right, time to get started. Let's open up the source where we have most of the code. And one thing that I do want to keep in mind is the project ID for my NFT project. So I'm going to copy that first, head over back into the index view where most of the main page works, and change a few things around, set the project ID to 2, and test on mainnet since we are building in Web3. So it looks like TypeScript is mad. Forgot to install dependencies. So let me give that a run. Cool. And now looks like the dependency is installed. Let's set up our local development environment. And as we wait for the code to build, let's get rid of some of the garbage code that I don't really care about from the starter project. So here we go, click around and delete some stuff. Just to make this as simple as possible, the goal really is to just see that we can load the project. Cool, looks like we got the project page all set up here. So let's go back to the code, and I'm going to rename this to Tardigrade Sunrise, just because we're not connecting wallets or anything. Let's add a quick button to link you to the checkout page that we're going to create within Sphere after this. So forgot the colors within Tailwind. So let's just make a nice simple blue button with some rounded corners. So check the blue, like the blue, add a little padding around the corners, and boom, got the button. So now we've got to make this link clickable, but got no link. So I'm going to go to the Sphere dashboard and create a payment link for the product that I just made earlier. So within Sphere, got to figure out how to create a payment link. Looks like we got a payments drop down there. Hit the payment links, and here we go. Maybe we'll make the name required so I know who you are. Add this to my tardigrade sunrise product, created the payment link, and let's copy that link. So now I'm gonna go back to the code. I'm gonna add this link to the button, and I think I want to add this as an ahref, just wrapped around the button to keep things simple for now. Paste in the link, and of course we can make this a little bit more automated in the future, but we're just selling a single piece of art and showing that it works for today. So click buy one soul, and boom, we're at the checkout page. Now that we got the checkout page set up and linked from our website, we now need to create the NFT. So to do so securely, let's set up a Sphere webhook that once the payment processes will hit our API, Next.js API endpoint, and actually mint the NFT. So here, let's create this Sphere folder and a webhooks. So the path will be /API Sphere /webhooks, create the handler for it. And I'm not too familiar with the Sphere webhook payload. So what I'm going to do is run a few experiments to actually grab the request and the request body and start digging through the internals of what a request payload will look like. So let's set up an ngrok to push the data into the Next.js API running up on localhost 3000. Copy that link, and let's head over to the Sphere developer dashboard. And I have too many failing webhooks, so let me first delete this webhook, create a webhook, paste in that link, hit /API /Sphere /webhooks. The only event I care about is payment successful, so create that webhook. Let's go back to my gallery page, hit buy for one soul, and I'm going to just test out that this webhook works for a few times. I'm going to give this a few test runs and grab the data from the webhook body just to understand what I'm getting from Sphere. I need to get two pieces of information: what project that I want to create the NFT in, and who I should be sending this NFT to. So since I know I created a product within Sphere for this project, I need to grab the product ID from the Sphere payload. So let's map that to the project ID that I care about. And the second thing is I want to get from the customer the wallet address that I'm dropping the NFT to. So I can also find that information on the webhook payload as well. So I got those two pieces of information. So let's slow down the video and print those out just to confirm that we got it, and run one more final test to verify what we have. So here we got the Stripe or the Sphere customer ID and also the project ID that we care about based on the map that we created above. So now that we got all the information that we need to mint an NFT, let's go find the Underdog docs, but they got an interesting press release on their website. Looks like they were the grand champions of the Grizzlython hackathon. So, well, anyways, let's hop to the docs and mess around in the docs since they have like a Postman-like interface to create projects and NFTs. So to test out the project that we care about, let's try the API. Looks like we're getting something back, but I realized that this isn't the right project because we're using project ID 2. So let's update that in the code as well. Let's hit try it. This looks like Tardigrade Sunrise. We got 2 NFTs that we printed out earlier, so everything looks happy there. Let's update project 2, test it again, and let's try to create an NFT. Actually, I realized that we used a semi-fungible project, so we don't have to worry about the attributes. That all just match the project. Let's test this out and mint to my own example wallet. Try it out. And looks like we're going to get the transaction ID. So it's processing. Let's double check in the dashboard, and looks like a new NFT, a third one, was dropped into that project. So we are good to go. Now, going back to the documentation, we can copy the Axios example within the docs, paste it into our API endpoint, and let's format this a little bit and grab the project ID and receiver address so we set that correctly within the API. So let's speed up a little bit of this formatting and messiness and set our API key as well, which we had already set in the env local environment file that we have. Let's print out the response and let's give this a test run. So going back to the Sphere checkout page, let's refresh the page, drop my name, actually pay a sol, and what we should expect is an NFT is created at the wallet that made this payment, so the EBE wallet. So looks like something was printed out. Looks like it was mad because I didn't return after sending the res 200 and then set res 400. But we're back in the dashboard and we can see that the fourth NFT was printed out, so we're good to go. One final thing that we want to touch on is adding a little bit of security to the API endpoint, so not just anyone can hit this endpoint and then grab an NFT. So let's import the crypto library where we can do a little secret mashing. So create the HMAC from the Stripe or Sphere webhook secret that we're going to set on the environment. Gotta turn that into a buffer. And let's make this required. And then what we're going to do is, let's see. Oh, Copilot suggested me a few things, making this a little easier so I don't have to use my brain. Digest it as a hex and turn this into a UTF-8. And we're going to grab this signature and compare it to the request header signature to make sure that that it's a match. And if it doesn't match, we'll return a 403 and not okay. Cool. So from here, we need to make sure the Sphere webhook secret is all set up. I'm going to grab that back on the Sphere dashboard, which I touched on a little bit earlier. We have this signing secret. I'm going to copy, head over to my .env.local, paste that in. I'm going to have to restart the terminal for the new value. And go back through this process of setting this payment up. Pay one sol, hit approve, and let's see what happens. It is, unhappy because undefined. So I think that's because I renamed my environment variable incorrectly. So let's go back to my .env.local. I called it a Sphere signing secret. So let's change it to a Sphere webhook secret. Double check that matches. Boom, matches okay. Cool. And we'll give this one more test run just to make sure it works. Nice. And looking at the API, doesn't look like it has complained at all. No internal server errors or anything. If we go back to the dashboard, another NFT has been minted and it is live.